Okay, great. Well, we're going to get started. If you've been in my sessions before, you know my disclaimer. I like to encourage or ask people to bring some kind of art materials to the session in case you would like to engage in the creative part of the session, which is the unique part of this mindfulness session, because there's lots of yoga and meditation and other things we can engage in, but art making is also a valuable tool to be able to express ourselves and to be able to engage with ourselves in a mindful way. So if you haven't already, grab anything that you have. Again, I like to tell people you can make art out of anything. So even if it's just a basic pen or paper, pencil, markers, anything that you have on hand will do. Um, and so we're gonna dive right in and just get started. So first and foremost, get comfortable in your space and see if you can just do a little bit of a check-in with your body. Just make sure that you're feeling okay. If there's any parts of your body that are talking to you, if there's any pain or discomfort, just kind of notice that for yourself. Start to get grounded. If you've taken this time for yourself today, and feel free to close your eyes, or if you want to shut off your camera, that's perfectly fine as well. Please keep yourself on mute. And just take a breath here. Again, just with curiosity, noticing the natural ebb and flow of your breathing. Is it coming deep from your belly? Are those breaths sitting shallow in your chest? Start to notice and adjust your breathing accordingly based on what feels comfortable to you. So as we're taking a moment to really check in with ourselves, I just want to acknowledge that holiday season is upon us, and there's obviously a lot of gifts that we've been trying to find and give to other people. But for today, I want us to focus on what gifts we can give to ourselves. And most of these are going to be internal gifts, or a shift in our attention, a shift in our mindset, maybe self-compassion and self-love, which are important aspects of mindfulness. So we're going to take a moment, again, just focusing on that breath coming in and out of your body, which is a gift that we are given every day, right? Start to acknowledge the theme for today. And I'd like to invite you to consider and just take a moment to reflect on your day and just consider the steps and the spaces you've been a part of today from start to finish, as most of you are winding down. What did you do today? And how did it go? And are there things that are feeling unresolved or sitting heavily with you, maybe from the day? Maybe you've been doing great today. Whatever it is that's coming up for you, try to notice this for yourself. And again, with curiosity, we're just gonna focus on awareness, of having non-judgmental awareness of whatever it is that we're bringing into the space. You can imagine that you're breathing in again, you're breathing in fresh air, and then you're breathing out and you're letting go and shedding whatever it is that's happened today, so you can really make space for yourself here now. You can imagine even that you're breathing in a color, and the color, the beauty of it, maybe it's purple, maybe it's blue, it starts to fill your body. Then as it fills your body and as you release it, you just become more and more grounded in this moment. And you start to fall deeper into relaxation. Then you start to notice your body get a bit heavier. And you start to really embrace that right now, your needs are the only needs that matter in this moment. I'd like you again to just check in with your body and see how this feels. Notice if there's any areas of pain, tension, discomfort, or maybe there's some areas that are feeling good even just by taking these very few moments to pause already. Taking inventory if there's any areas that are calling for your attention within your body. Again, breathing into those spaces with that colorful energy, whatever color you've chosen. Imagining that fill your body and then releasing it again and again. And in the spirit of gift giving, I would like to see if you can, in your mind's eye, start to imagine that there is this package or this gift that's in front of you, that's sitting right in front of you on a table, and you start to notice it. And you're really curious about what's inside. So you place your hands upon it and you feel the texture of the paper. You notice the color of the paper, whatever color that is. Maybe it's wrapped beautifully. Maybe there's a bow or a ribbon. Maybe it's simple, elegant. Just see if you can notice and touch this gift, this package with your hands. And you pick it up and you shake it. You hear that there's something inside, furthering your curiosity. And so you start to unwrap. You hear the crunching of the paper as you're tearing it open. And you notice what's inside. Perhaps this could be a note, a photograph, a special object, something that holds significance to you in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps this is something that you need to hear or see or recognize and just pause with for a few moments. Maybe you put your hands on this item and again you start to feel its texture, whatever that may be. Or maybe it's a few different things, but for some reason there's some significance that this object holds to you. There's a reason that this is coming towards you, reminding you of something important, something that you need. And what is it that you might need? Take a few moments to really reflect on this for yourself. What is it that you might need right now? As you reflect on this and your gift that's in front of you, take a few moments to pause and to breathe and to really embrace the spirit of this gift that's being presented to you. Take as much time as you need in the safety of this space. Breathing in and out, absorbing the energy of your gift. And you can sit with this as long as you would like to, if it helps to be in this space. If you're feeling ready, I'd invite you to come back to our shared space together. But if you'd like to continue, you're certainly welcome to do so. And I would like to invite you for the next 10 minutes or so to reflect on this experience of going internally into your body. I'd like you to see if you can capture this in some way for yourself visually. And you can take paper if you've got some paper in front of you, and whatever drawing or art materials you might have. And again, just using the same mindfulness, you can start to create something on the page. And again, you can just focus on creating something that feels right for you in the moment. You could explore using different lines and colors and shapes. There is no right or wrong here. Or if there was something very strongly that you visualized, you're welcome to create that. If there were some words or something else that came up for you, you can jot those down and journal about it. This is really an invitation for what you need and what would be most helpful for you. So it's really important to listen to yourself right now. And there's no judgment. It's okay to make bad art. Bad art is lovely art. Or also, if you just want to sit, continue with your eyes closed for the next few moments and continue to focus on your breath. That, at its core, is the basic building block of mindfulness, returning to our breath. So I'd like to invite you to take this time for you, whatever that may mean, if it's creative, reflective, meditative. Take a few moments in this space now. And we'll be together in silence for a few moments as we're all focusing. I'm going to continue to take a few more moments, noticing at this point, after you've had a few minutes to explore what feelings might be coming up for you. If you're creating artwork, is there any inner critic that's coming up? Does it feel freeing? Does it feel good? Does it feel difficult? Notice what's coming up for you through this part of your process, sitting with yourself in reflection. This is part of mindfulness as well. If there's anything difficult coming up for you, take a breath, take a moment to pause. See if you can give yourself whatever it is you feel is needed. I'm going to take about 2 more minutes or so to continue. And if you're working on something, you may not be complete at that point, but that's okay. You can continue to work on these pieces or writing or expressing yourself. You can continue to work on this. Take another few moments. All right, everybody, see if you can come to a good stopping point if you're able to. I know it can be difficult, but I just like to leave a few moments in case there's anything that anyone would like to share at the end about how this was for you, or if there's something that you'd like to say to the group about your experience. Anything that came up for you, you're welcome to share. Certainly not an obligation, but an invitation.
If no one else wants to share, I'll go ahead.
Sure.
During the meditation, when you were asking, like, kind of what have you been through today? And then also, how are you feeling? I just noticed that I was feeling kind of like my cup was emptying, kind of that saying when your cup runneth
Yep.
over, it's like it's time to put some stuff back. So I drew a picture of a cup and like things I would like to be putting into it. But then a really interesting thing happened is like all these good things that were really nurturing that happened today ended up in it. And it was like, it wasn't as
Wow.
easy as I thought it was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow. So it's almost like that experience and this metaphor of a cup, it allowed you to just take a step back for maybe some gratitude of things that have fulfilled you throughout the day or sustained you.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, just revisiting them, like then I felt that nurturing all over again too.
Yep.
Great.
And that's a really, really good point, is that we can use visualization or mindfulness as an internal resource all the time. So even just thinking about something that brings you joy always, whether it's a family member, a friend, an animal, a place, you can always imagine that as an internal resource for yourself. And that's kind of similar to, I think, what you're describing, Heidi, is that, just reflecting on these things that did bring you joy, or helped in some way, felt restorative. Hmm. Anybody else? Anything you'd like to bestow upon us? Feel free to unmute yourself and
I'll make it real quick. I'll go. Um, you asked what we did today, and we all do different things. Some are caregivers, some work or whatever. I work from home. I'm recovering from a mild stroke I had a little over a month ago, so I've been
mm,
staying close to home. And it was brought on by having all the migraines, caused some
mm,
trouble up in the brain. But I'm
mm,
recovering, and I have been staying home a lot and kind of enjoying the peace and quiet. I get to work from home. At about 4:15 today, I looked out the living room window, and we're in Philadelphia. It's cold. It's 30 degrees, and all the trees have no leaves except for the evergreens and the spruce trees and the cypress tree out front. And what I saw out front, I can't see this, but when you look across the street, you see the sun setting and all the
mm,
green trees and the houses with their brownstones and their brown roofs. And it's winter and it's cold, but you see this beautiful sunset at the end of the day, although it is kind of early. 4:15 is early. The shortest day of the year is I think next week it's the 21st, and then it gets another day. We add in an hour after the shortest day of the year. So that's something to look forward to at Christmas time.
mm,
But it was just so pretty to look outside, and it was so quiet. There were no cars on the street, and I didn't have any. I was on Zoom for about 5 hours a day with meetings, so I don't have much of a voice
mm,
left because you have to talk really loud so they can hear you on the microphone because you've got like 2 dozen people on there and they don't mute, and you hear dogs barking and babies crying. So you have to kind of talk over the interference, I guess you
mm.
might say. So I talked all day and got my work done. But I just thought it was nice to look out the window and take a little break upstairs and just look out the window and see the sun setting as it does every day. And every morning it comes up, and it was just kind of relaxing to see a
Mm.
cold winter's day. And my title was A Short December Day. I save all these, by the way. I have a folder over here. They're all saved.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
love
Thank you
that.
so much, Jen. I appreciate the kind of helping us put us into a place where we could think about gifts. And one of the gifts I think we have is that we have beautiful days and sunny days, and we have trees and we have nature, and we can take a walk outside, and we have every day's a little different. Some days it's cloudy, some day the moon rises at the same time as the sun. So every day is a
Mm,
little different, but I cherish the days. Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's really beautiful, and I think it's restorative for me and maybe for others too, to hear about what is coming up for you all mindfully, and what you're aware of, that does feel like a moment where you can step back and take that gratitude for your surroundings, for nature, you know. And I hope that you continue your recovery process, Tom, from the stroke. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Don't be sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all good. I get
Yeah.
good doctors and great drugs, so it's all
Yeah.
good. Thank you so
I'm
much.
glad to hear that it's
Thank
going
you.
okay. Yeah. Anybody else feel inclined to share before we end?
Well, I was happy to slow down,
Yeah.
just to really slow things down. And I noticed that my hands stopped shaking,
Mm,
which I usually have a tremor. And I noticed my tremor was much less
mm,
because of, I guess, the calming hormones or they were going through the body.
mm,
Um, and I started writing in script. I'm always somebody who's printing, and I just felt this sort of softness, and it expressed itself in writing the word love over a couple times in script, which I know use. My handwriting is poor.
mm.
This was really nice. The meditation was great. I hope it's recorded. I'd like to use it again.
Absolutely. No, Fran, thank you so much for sharing about that. And I think that's such a good example of the simplicity of what this can be, and that it can offer us so much. It's really just about trying to take that moment for ourselves to go inward and to sit with ourselves. And it sounds like you really brought yourself to a place of calm, to the point where you noticed a physical change, that your tremors were decreased, and that's profound. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank all of you too, and just for being a part of this. It's a collective energy, and I learned from you, and I take from this experience as well. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Jen, so much for being here and leading us.
Yeah, of course.
So appreciated. I know Carol's mic doesn't work, and she had written in the chat something, where did it go? That her neck pain improved. So
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
really
And that's a huge goal with the mindfulness, with the art making and creative process, is that, there is evidence that it can reduce pain. It can have these physiological changes for us, so really, really consider that, and that this is a big deal to take this time to show up for yourself to do this. It really is. It's hard to do. It's not easy, with all of our stressors, but thank you all so much.
Yeah, it's so worth it. So I do have just a couple of announcements. Let me see if I can send this one off. So I put in the chat the re-registration information for next year, because it's almost next year. So be sure to register. And then, Fran, yes, this was recorded, and past mindfulness sessions are also on YouTube. So you can find those on our webpage. And then I wanted to say happy holidays to everyone. Happy Hanukkah to everyone who's celebrating that today. And just the holidays can be hard. Kind of, I think, Jen, you mentioned that in the meditation. We have support groups at Miles for Migraine. So reach out, get support from them. I don't know the details of the Miles for Migraine support groups as far as the holidays go, but I do know that the US Pain Foundation is hosting support groups on the actual holidays, on Christmas, on New Year's. So you don't have to be alone. We're here for you, and get the support you need. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Heidi.
And it was great to see everyone. I hope to see you next year, but also before that, on the 28th is our final session of the year. So hopefully I'll see you there too. Great.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Happy
Take
holidays.
care.
Bye-bye.